The air crackled with tension as Pierre Poilievre stepped up to the podium in London, Ontario. This wasn't just another campaign stop. This was a defining moment. Poilievre, the Conservative leader, was about to make a controversial pledge to defund safer supply drug programs. His voice, firm and unwavering, echoed through the room as he declared war on these programs. He argued they were fueling chaos on the streets, not saving lives. His solution? Redirect the money to treatment programs. The crowd erupted, a mix of cheers and jeers. This was a debate that cut to the very core of Canada's struggle with addiction. Poilievre's stance sent shockwaves through the nation. It was a direct challenge to the status quo. For years, safer supply programs had been gaining traction as a way to combat the opioid crisis. The idea was simple: provide people with a safer alternative to street drugs. This, in theory, would reduce overdoses and offer a pathway to treatment, but Poilievre wasn't buying it. He believed these programs were enabling addiction, not ending it. Poilievre's critics were quick to condemn his stance. They argued that safer supply programs were essential harm reduction strategies. They pointed to studies showing these programs could save lives and connect people with vital support services. They accused Poilievre of playing politics with people's lives, but Poilievre remained undeterred. He was convinced that treatment, not substitution, was the answer, and he was prepared to fight for it. The safer supply debate is a heated one, fueled by deeply held beliefs and a sense of urgency. Proponents argue that these programs are a necessary stopgap in a crisis that's claiming thousands of lives. They point to the devastating toll of fentanyl, a highly potent opioid that's flooded the streets. Safer supply, they contend, is about keeping people alive long enough to access treatment. It's about meeting people where they're at, rather than forcing them into a system they're not ready for. Opponents like Poilievre view safer supply as a band-aid solution. They argue that it creates a cycle of dependence on government-provided drugs. They worry that it normalizes drug use and sends the wrong message to young people. Their focus is on long-term solutions, on breaking the cycle of addiction through treatment and rehabilitation. They believe that investing in these programs will ultimately save more lives and create a healthier society. The debate often becomes mired in ideology, with both sides accusing the other of ignoring the facts. Emotions run high, fueled by personal stories of loss and hope. There's a sense of desperation on both sides, a desire to find a solution to a crisis that's spiraling out of control. But finding common ground is proving elusive. In the heart of London, Ontario, stands Harvest House Ministries, a beacon of hope for those battling addiction. This faith-based organization offers a residential treatment program for men struggling with substance abuse. They provide a structured environment, counseling, and life skills training, all within a supportive community. For many, it's been a lifeline, a chance to break free from the grip of addiction and rebuild their lives. Poilievre points to Harvest House as a shining example of what treatment can achieve. He visited the facility during his time in London, meeting with staff and residents. He was impressed by their dedication and the stories of transformation he witnessed. He left convinced that this was where the government should be investing its resources. Harvest House, he believes, represents a path to lasting recovery, one that empowers individuals to take control of their lives. But Harvest House, like many treatment facilities, faces significant challenges. the demand for their services far outweighs their capacity, there's a long waiting list, and many who need help are turned away. Funding is always a concern, as is the ongoing need to attract and retain qualified staff. The success stories at Harvest House are undeniable, but they also highlight the need for greater investment in treatment options. Section 4. The long road to recovery. Navigating the challenges. The road to recovery from addiction is rarely straight or easy. It's a journey fraught with obstacles, setbacks, and temptations. For many, the first step is often the hardest, admitting they have a problem and seeking help. The stigma surrounding addiction can be a powerful deterrent, preventing people from reaching out for fear of judgment or shame. Even when someone does seek help, finding the right treatment program can be daunting. Treatment itself is not a quick fix. It requires time, commitment, and a willingness to confront painful truths. Relapse is a common part of the recovery process, and each setback can feel like a crushing defeat. The support of family, friends, and trained professionals is crucial in navigating these challenges. But even with the best support system, the journey remains deeply personal. Daniel Crepol, a harm reduction worker in Ottawa, understands the complexities of addiction. He sees safer supply as a way to keep people alive and engaged while they work towards long-term recovery. He believes that harm reduction and treatment should go hand in hand, providing a continuum of care. Crepol sees the value in both approaches, recognizing that there's no one-size-fits-all solution to addiction. Section 5, A Divided Nation, the Federal Government's Balancing Act. The federal government, under Justin Trudeau's Liberals, has taken a harm reduction approach to the opioid crisis. They've invested in safer supply programs, expanded access to naloxone, an overdose reversing drug, and launched awareness campaigns. They argue that these measures are necessary to save lives and reduce the harms associated with drug use. However, they also recognize the importance of treatment and have allocated funding to expand access to these services. Critics like Poilievre and Jagmeet Singh, leader of the NDP, argue that the government's approach is not enough. Poilievre believes the focus should be on treatment, not harm reduction. Singh, while supporting harm reduction measures, has criticized the government for not doing enough to address the root causes of addiction, such as poverty and lack of affordable housing. The debate over how to address the opioid crisis is far from over. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. The recent seizure of thousands of dilaudid tablets, a powerful opioid prescribed as a safer alternative to street drugs, highlights the challenges of finding the right balance. While these alternatives can be effective, they can also be misused and diverted to the black market. And the government is caught between trying to save lives in the short term and finding long-term solutions to a multifaceted crisis. The stakes are high and the debate is likely to continue for years to come.